So the supplies that I use for the butterfly wind spinner, these are the yarns that I use. You can use whatever colors that you want, but to get the monarch butterfly color, these are the ones that I've chosen. This is a 4-weight acrylic yarn, some embroidery thread, 3mm crochet hook, though you probably could use any hook you want, depending on what size you want your wind spinner to be, but the 3mm I find is perfect for me. A darning needle, some scissors, and some beads. I would say that the beads are optional, but I find that they help give the wind spinner a little bit of weight that helps it like glide better in the wind. And you can find these at any craft store, dollar store, anywhere like that. These are just the beads that I got. All right, I'm gonna start with my black yarn, and I'm just going to put a slip knot on my hook. And now we're going to chain 85 chains. So just chain 85, and then I'll meet you back for the next part. Okay, now that you have your 85 chains, you're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Now, you can continue this row with single crochet in the black, but I like to give just a little bit of variant of colors. So I'm going to now switch to my white. So all I did for that was, so you go into that second chain, pull through a loop, pull through another loop, don't go all the way through, and then you'll have 2 chains on your hook. Then you're going to switch to your other color. I'm going to get my white, and I'm just going to pull my white through those 2 loops. And then now I'm just going to single crochet all the way back down my chains with the white, and I'm just going to single crochet over the top of these tails. You can let them hang and then sew them in later, but I prefer to just crochet over the top of them. Single crochet all the way back down. I'm going to show you. So that's where we're going to do it. We're going to be doing that. And then just continue until you're all the way at the end of your chains, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so we're coming up on the end. I only have a few more stitches. I'm going to show you how to fasten off. Okay, so we're going to single crochet into this last chain. And now I'm just going to chain 1 and then pull just a little. And cut. And then just pull all that all the way through. And then that fastens it off. So now you have your 2 colors. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to turn my work just so I can work back over the top of this tail from the previous round. And now I'm going to grab my gold color. And we're going to be going in back into this first single crochet. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1. You can chain 2 if you want for height, but I just chain 1 and then go straight back in. So we're going to be putting 2 double crochets into each space all the way down. So I'm just going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2 for our first double crochet. Then I'm going to put another double crochet back into that same space for 2 double crochets. And then I'm just going to work over the top of these 2 tails a little bit and then cut the excess just so it hides the tail. So 2 into the next. Two into the next. And it's going to look like that. So you're going to put 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way down, and then I'll meet you back. You're going to see it start to curl up on itself. That's what you want it to do. So it's okay if you just like move it out the way or, you know, unroll it a little bit to get where you have to go, but you want it to curl up on itself. I don't have super tight tension or anything, just what I would consider normal. You don't have to do your stitches super tight. Just work at your normal pace. Okay, so I've come to my last stitch, so I'm going to put my 2 double crochets into this last stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1, pull my yarn out a little bit, and cut. And I'm just going to pull this to fasten it off, and then you should get something that looks like this. Okay, so now you're going to turn your work, and we're going to go into that first stitch at the top of that first double crochet, or last double crochet rather, and then I'm going to go in with my black. Chain 1, and then I'm going to double crochet into that same stitch, and then I'm going to put 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. Oh. So it's going to look like that. Now I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to skip 1 stitch, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochets in the next. So skip 1, 3 double crochets, and I'm just going to work back over the top of this yarn. You're not going to see it at the end, so it doesn't matter that it's going to be where you're skipping a space. And after the 3 double crochet, you're going to chain 1. So that is the pattern for this round. 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip a space, 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip a space, 3 double crochet. You're going to do that all the way to the end, then I'm going to meet you back. Okay, just to show you how it's going to start curving and curling up more, and that's okay. And if you need to straighten it out or move it around to get to your stitches, it's totally fine. It's going to swirl back up at the very end anyway, and it's not going to hurt the swirl at all. So do what you have to do to be comfortable and get to all your stitches. Okay, we're coming up to the last cluster that you're going to need to do, and you're going to see that you have your 2 double crochets right here and then a stitch right here. So you're not gonna worry about this the first double crochet stitch right here. You're still going to skip this space and then do your cluster in the top of this stitch right here. So yarn over and then do our cluster. 2, 3. So you have your cluster of your 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1. Pull through, cut, pull through. And then now it should look like this. Okay, so now I'm going to get my orange and turn your work. I'm going to work back over the top of this tail. In this first stitch, we're going to do chain 1, and then I'm going to go back into that same stitch and do a single crochet. Then we're going to do a single crochet in the next. I'm working over the top of my 2 tails. You don't have to, you can cut them in or weave them in. And then now we're going to work a cluster of stitches in between here. So we're going to do a half double crochet, a double crochet, a triple crochet, a double crochet, and a half double crochet, all in that same space. And this little cluster is going to be your pattern all the way to the end. So put your yarn back on your hook. Show y'all that again. Working into the space, not in any stitches, you're just working into the space. So you're going to do half double crochet, double, triple, double, and half. Do that for each space all the way to the end. Okay, so I'm coming up on my last little cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do half, double, triple, double, half. Now you're going to put 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet in this stitch and 1 single crochet in this stitch. So single crochet, and this black is kind of hard to see. Single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, pull your yarn up. Now, you can totally stop at this point if you just want like this floral look. Of course, you can do different colors, but you can totally stop at this point, and then it'll look more like a flower. And if you're going to stop at this point, then make this string a little long, because this is the string that I like to put my beads on, so I don't like weave this in or anything. I leave this a few inches long, and this is what I put my beads on. But I'm going to continue and do the monarch butterfly one, so I am just going to leave a little bit, cut, pull that through. Okay, so I'm going to grab my black. Now you can turn your work and work back over this if you can see your stitches, but this is technically the back side of your work, so the wrong side. So if it's harder for you to see your individual stitches, because that's going to be important, then you can just flip to the other end and then do on the clean end, or the right side end. So you're going to just insert your hook into the first single crochet, pull up a loop, chain one, go back into that stitch and form a single crochet. Then I'm going to single crochet in the next. Okay. And now I'm going to drop down to the top of this double crochet. Okay, if you're working over the top of your tail, it could be a little difficult to see, but make sure you're in the top of that double crochet stitch. And that's where you're going to put this dropped down double crochet. So it's going to look like that. Now, you're not going to worry about this half double crochet stitch right here that's being covered up by your drop down double crochet. You're just going to work into this next one. So you're going to single crochet, then you're going to do another single crochet, and now we're going to do a picot. A picot is, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch back into this first stitch right here. And now you have 2 more stitches. You're going to single crochet into each of these stitches. One, 2. And that's what your picot is going to look like. It's gonna poke up. So we did 2 single crochets, we did our dropped double crochet, 2 single crochets, picot, 2 single crochets. Now we're going to do another dropped double crochet. Right into the middle of this double crochet from the bottom, into the top stitch, I mean. So do your double crochet. I apologize, this black is hard to see, but this is the color scheme. So it's going to look like that. Then you're going to single crochet, 1, 2, the next 2, do your picot, oops, and then single crochet into the next 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to do our dropped double crochet. So essentially we are ignoring the half double crochets that are in here because the dropped double crochets are covering them, and then working single crochet, picot, which isn't attached to anything, and then single crochet, single crochet. So this is going to be your pattern for this row, and this is our last row. This is what gives it the butterfly wing effect, in my opinion. So single crochet, drop, double crochet, single crochet, picot, single crochet, dropped double, single, picot, single, drop, double. And that's going to be your pattern all the way to the end. Okay, once you're done and you're at the end, you've, you know, done your last little row, you have 2 stitches left. You're going to single crochet in each stitch and chain 1. Now, this is where we're going to fasten off. We're done. However, I'm going to leave a couple inches of this last color because this is what's going to dangle with my beads and my applique on the end. So we're going to pull up. Let's do about this. Go through. And this is what I have left. You can go and you can cut your loose ends if you have any. Just snip them off. But now you can go and fold or twist and fold. And there you are. There is your wind spinner. Go ahead and sew in and cut off all your loose ends. This is what's going to hang towards the ground. And then now you can just take your needle, your tapestry needle, if your beads are big enough. If not, use a sewing needle, sew them or string them on through here. Okay, the purpose for the crochet thread is for the hanging part that's going to go around the tree or hook or whatever you have. I like how thin this is. I feel like it helps it spin. You can totally just use regular yarn, fishing line, whatever you want to do, but I feel like the thinner the actual hanger is, the better. So that's what I like to use. You don't have to do anything super long and crazy. So I'm gonna cut it off right here. And we're just going to attach it. This is the end that does not have the piece of yarn still attached to it. Now, go into this stitch. I'm gonna pull it up to about midway. Then I'm gonna go right back in. So around like this and pull it tight. And then I'm gonna do it again. That it's attached, it's on there, but what I also like to do is just go ahead and tie a couple knots. Now I'm gonna even out my string. Just tie a knot at this end, like so. And then this is the top of your wind spinner. I'm not gonna show on this video how I do the butterfly attachment on here. That's optional. It ties it in, it makes it cute. You don't have to do that. You can find butterfly beads, charms. You can find like little butterfly clips if you want to clip them on. But the beads will be enough weight for it to make the spinner function. I have spinners that don't even have beads that spin. I just think a little bit of weight to the bottom helps it. I will make a separate video if you guys want on how I make my butterflies that go on here, but there's plenty of other tutorials if you want like a different style butterfly. Just let me know if you guys want me to show you how I do my butterfly, and I'll certainly do that for you. But for this video's sake, I'm just going to attach my beads. So now that I have the first bead on there, I like to leave a little bit of a distance. All this is preference to the space that you want and the length that you want any of this. So my bead is on my string, my yarn, and I just like to go back through here and pull through. And then this secures my bead on here, so it can still move around a little bit, but I haven't had any issues with any of my beads. Okay, I have my actual sewing needle. It's not too easy getting the thick yarn through here, but just do your best and it'll be okay. I'm just going to feed this through this bead a couple times. Just like that. And then you can just snip that. And now this will be the bottom. And then like I said, normally I'd put a butterfly here, but for this video's sake, this is just for the actual wind spinner. And there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you have so much fun making your wind spinners. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will get to them. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, real quick. You can also do different colors and variations because butterflies come in more colors. This is one that I worked on earlier this morning. The blue variant. I haven't added beads or done anything fancy to this one yet, but here they are, side by side. Fun and cute.